Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. From the thumbnail, you already know what I'm about to talk about. It's about my testimony. I have promised God that I'm going to give this testimony. I started this YouTube channel with the plan of actually sharing my life experience here. But you know how the atmosphere of YouTube is. You tend to share the good parts, you don't share the bad parts. But today, I'm going to be sharing the good, the bad, the ugly. If this sounds like what you'd like to hear, please sit down, hold the popcorn, get a drink, and enjoy the movie. Because this one is a movie. This is a story time movie. This is a big time story time. As you guys already know, my name is Abigail Wanido. My journey started when I got married. I got married on the 1st of June 2019 precisely. 1 week to that time, I did my traditional wedding, which was 25th of May 2019. Then a week later, I did my church wedding, which was on the 1st of June 2019. I'm sorry if I make a mistake with the date. I'll put a correction on the screen because I'm mixing up everything at the moment. After I got married, I moved into my husband's house and everything was like, okay, perfect and not so perfect, because there's no perfect. We were trying to learn each other. There was no problem per se. There was no problem. It's just the fact that we're, you know, there's a difference between dating and marriage. So we're trying to learn each other, and we're both trying to unlearn some things of the past. So two people trying to reach an agreement, trying to come together to build a family for themselves. We never knew we had a real roller coaster in front of us that we are yet to pass through. So time went on. After 6 months, we started asking questions like, why is nothing happening? His own idea of everything is that after like 2-3 months, we are seeing signs of, oh, she has gotten pregnant. But my brothers, my sister, it was not like that. After we got married, the first month I saw my period, which was June. The second month I saw my period, which was July. August, I saw my period faintly, very faint. Then after then, the whole thing stopped. I felt it was okay, maybe stress and stuff, work stress, bank stress, blah blah blah, because I was in the bank at the time. I continued 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months. It went on like that. So when it got to the 6th month, we went to the, which is 3 months of not seeing my period, we went to the hospital, because our hospital is a specialist hospital. So we went there to see the gynecologist to inquire why I'm not seeing my period. So it wasn't a question of why I have not gotten pregnant, but why I have not seen my period for 3 months, because my husband expects that I should be seeing my period, because that would help us or aid us to calculate the time I would actually get pregnant. We went there. The gynecologist requested that we do a test. We do a test for FSH, LH, progesterone, prolactin, and blah blah blah, which we did at the time. So when the result was out, one of them was going to take 21 days, which was the progesterone, but the rest came out like really super fast. So after 21 days, we came to review everything at once, and all the metrics was bad. So the FSH was way above the limit. I think the highest limit should be 10 or 12. I was having 25. The LH was above the limit, which was 10.2. The limit was 10. Then the progesterone was, I think, low. The number was very low. It wasn't within range. Then the prolactin was the only thing that was within range. I didn't know what those things meant, so the doctor had to ask me one stupid question: how old are you? At the time, I was 30. I clocked 30 in December, because we came for that inquiry in November. So the result was out in December. So at the time, I was 30 on the dot. I'm like 30. And it's like, tell me your real age, not your football age. In my mind, I wanted to give him slap. Like, which kind of talk is that one? Am I 50? Am I 60? He was not like, no, people come, they have that a lot. When people come, their hormone is telling them, which is the doctor, the hormones they are seeing is telling them the real age, but these people are lying about their age because they have used different age in different walks of life. So they are trying to cover everything up, but their blood work is telling the real age. So I'm like, I'm not lying about my age. I'm not older than I am. I am 30. I clocked 30 the year before. So it's the year we're reviewing that result. By the end of the year, I will be 31. So I was still 30, very much 30. But I was still 30 because I'll be 30 by December 26th. We were reviewing the results, and I'm like, I'll be 31 by December 26th. This thing we're reviewing was around November. We did the test in November. The result was out the total result was out in December when we were reviewing it. So he was like, no, your real age. I said, I'm 31. So he was like, okay, if this is your real age, we will run this test again. That was when I knew there was problem. So he had to request for the FSH to be done again, that it looks ridiculously high. But when they did that test, it was the second day of my menstrual cycle that it was done. Thankfully, I came on time to do it. By the time he requested for it, there was no menstruation. Remind you, the last time I saw my period was when we just got married, 2 months. Sure, 2 times I saw it. Then that time when I did that test, I was now seeing my period when I went to do the test. So when he requested for the test again, I wasn't seeing my period. So he said he was going to do it outside cycle. By the time he did it, that test came back as 65 FSH. When he reviewed it, he was like, I could see it in his face, but he didn't want to break my heart. So I decided to keep probing. He kept saying, no, don't worry, when you do it within 2 days after your cycle, maybe it might be better, blah, blah, blah. So my journey started from there. I didn't see my period for, only God knows how long, almost 1 year. I kept doing the test independently, and the results keep coming out as the same. They kept giving me drugs to induce the period. We tried to do the test, still the same thing, 60-something. I realized that particular gynae wasn't telling me so much. So I decided to not go to that gynae's office anymore. I tried another gynae. It was a good thing, but I shot myself in the leg emotionally because the second gynae was very straight to the point. When he checked the system and saw my past record, he asked me the same question, how old are you? And I'm like, people keep asking this question. I'm 31. From the system, you can see how old I am. He's like, no, he's asking this question for a reason. I said, I am 31. Let's get past that stage. I am 31. So your figure doesn't look like that of a 31-year-old lady. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? And he's like, from the figure we are seeing here, says that it's like that of somebody who has reached menopause. I paused. I was cold. I was mute. I was looking at him like, is this guy crazy? Does he know what he's saying? So he continued. From the record, he has seen that I have seen another gynae in that same hospital several times on this matter, and he's seeing that the guy keeps doing the test and it's still coming back that same way. That he wants to make it sink, that if he doesn't do that, he's not going to sleep well knowing that I do not know the gravity of what is happening to me. That what he would tell me is that I should go and do a second opinion test. At the time, he had already done his own test for me. He doesn't rely on other people's tests. He tried to induce period, then the little one we saw, on day 2, we did the test. So the result was still high. Even at that time, FSH was 65, LH was 61. So it was way overboard. So I was now like, what do you now suggest I do? He was like, you need to go for IVF. And this IVF that you are going to do, they are not going to be using your egg. They are going to be using someone else's egg. I'm like, someone else, as in, they are not even going to try to induce me to know whether I will even produce egg. He said, you cannot produce your own egg. They even sent me for a scan, for them to scan my ovaries. There was no little cyst anywhere, no fibroid anywhere. My womb was like that of a baby that has not yet started even producing egg, not to talk of having little cyst or any form of cyst. There was no sign of fibroid. They scanned my ovaries were empty. Like, I was not ovulating at all. My ovaries were not responding to ovulation. They tried to explain the scientific part of it, about the brain sending signal to the ovaries. The ovaries has to respond, produce egg, blah blah blah. They said my diagnosis is premature ovarian failure. That's an ovary that has failed before its time. That means I have gone into immediate menopause at my age. Because the guy was trying to sink it in. By the time, and that particular visit, I went with my husband. Imagine you just getting married and your husband is hearing that kind of thing. What is going through your own head? What was going through my head was like, wow, motivo one chance. I'm like, what? Is at this stage you would actually really know who you actually married. I got out of the doctor's office. I fell to the ground. This one, I'm not acting Nigerian film. We are acting Z word. This is a reflex action.